Hi, I'm Ned, and I make games. This video is from my live stream over on twitch.tv/NedMakesGames, where I'm live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 9 p.m. US Eastern Time. I'd love to see you there. Alright, let's get started. Oh, hey Gowie. Thanks for being here right at the start. Yeah, sorry, had a little bit of a strange schedule so far this week. But yeah, yesterday I had a pretty bad, well actually Tuesday, I had a pretty bad ear infection and it kept me up all night. So I was just dead tired by Wednesday, so I thought, okay, well I'll just make it up tonight. But then I ended up having to go run an errand, so anyway, I'm here now, so we'll do as much as I can. Yeah, the ear's all better now. I get them kind of frequently, unfortunately, but anyway, so yeah, today we're gonna start on I talked about a little bit on my July update post, but I've been invited to do this cool like collaborative game development thing with a bunch of other YouTube channels where we're going to try to remake all the mini games in Mario Party. And so I've been assigned this one called Bash and Cash. I know it's not everybody's favorite if you've played that game, but I think we can make it work out pretty well. So the main thing is, you can see this picture. So one character is dressed up as Bowser, and then the rest of them run around with these rubber mallets to try to hit him, and then coins will fall out, and you can try to collect them, and whoever has the most coins, well, in this version, you'll win if you have the most coins. So I think it'll be kind of fun because, well, I haven't really gotten to make a game in a while because I've been busy mostly working with tools, so I'm excited to do kind of my own little jam. But also we'll get to work on some like 3D character physics, and I think we can do some pretty fun visual effects with coins. So that should be pretty cool. But so today we'll probably just get started, but I don't know how much programming will actually get finished because I need to kind of work on some of the design, but I don't know. But then the actual game, and I found it on this channel called Long Play Archive, and they actually allow people to use their videos, so it's safe to watch it. But here's the game in action. So yeah, the physics controllers are kind of a little primitive, so I hope we can improve there a little bit. But then again, I mean, the kind of jankiness of it does add to the charm. So but yeah, I think the first part, yeah, spice the theme up a nice bit. I think so. The rules of well, I don't really know if there's rules for this competition. Well, it's not really a competition either for this collaboration, but you're supposed to try to. I'm gonna try to have a mode that'll kind of faithfully remake it, and then I thought maybe we can add some fun things on top. But obviously, in our game, we won't be able to use the Mario characters, so we can kind of add whatever theme we want to that. Oops. Yeah, it's still a cool concept. I think so too. But anyway, so I've kind of set up a project here in Unity. Right now, I just have most of the default packages, except I added URP and the new input system, which I'm going to try to learn a little better. And okay, so I guess we can get started by creating the URP asset. Oh, yeah. And I'll just turn on some basic stuff here. It's gonna, yeah, it's only gonna run on PC, so I can kind of crank up most of these settings. But we'll wait and see what we need to add. And then Oh, right. And then in the player settings, I need to set this up and set color space to linear. Okay, so yeah, I don't like working with like temporary art. So I bet pretty soon we'll probably try to get in some actual good looking stuff. But for now, I think the first thing I want to do is try to get a 3D character controller. And once we have that working well, we can try to build a game around it. Because, yeah, it's going to be important, of course, to make that feel good. And although I've made a lot of 2D character controllers, I haven't done 3D as much. So this should be an interesting project, I think. Okay, so let's just make capsule. Okay, and for so the game has like very specific physics, so I don't know if let me close some of this stuff. Like, I don't know if I'll be able to use Unity's physics system, because can you see like when they knock? Oh, well, the CPUs aren't very good, but I'm trying to see like actually. Okay, well, they just knocked one out, but nothing happened. But some other footage I saw, when they knock out a coin bag, it kind of like floats around on the in the world. It doesn't like land and then stay put. So obviously that's not really a physical either. So I think a lot of the stuff we'll be using just like ray casting, and we'll control the actual physics. Yeah, they catch it right away, so it doesn't showcase what I'm talking about, but maybe I'll have to try to find some better footage. But anyway, so what I'm trying to say is that we'll just add a kinematic rigid body. Which means that you can control the physics yourself, but then it will still act as a collider. Oh, yeah, I should save this scene as something else. I'll just call it I don't know, character test bed. Okay, let's make floor. This can be static. Oh, I think I'll leave this at 0 and then just move the player up. Okay, actually, yeah, this doesn't need to be a mesh collider. It'd probably be easier if I make all these rectangles. Or is there? Yeah, I'm mostly used to doing like 2D. Which in 2D there's like a line collider, but I don't think there's a plane collider in 3D. No, so we'll just use this. If I remember right, in Unity's 3D physics, you need to kind of be careful that you don't fall through planes, so I think this should be a little safer. Okay, and then let's add all this to another little object. All right, so now we've got a scene set up. What minigame are you building? This one's called Bash and Cash. It's like, yeah, so basically one character is going to be Bowser and run around, and the other characters try to knock coins out of him by hitting him with a hammer. I know that this minigame was a lot of people's least favorite, but I'm hoping that I'll be able to, I guess, spice it up a little bit. Okay, so let's kind of, yeah, I kind of built the walls here weirdly. It should be more like this. Let's just nudge that over. Oh, you like that minigame? That's good. I can't really remember what I thought of it back when I used to play, or when I originally played Mario Party. But I remember I always liked that one with the multicolored mushrooms. That was kind of like, and then they would fall down or something, fall into the water, and you had to try to get on the specific color that didn't fall down. So this game, it has like a set camera angle, which is kind of nice. We won't have to worry about controlling the camera too much. Maybe that was it. Yeah, it was something with like rainbow colored mushrooms. I don't remember the name. It's been... Actually, I should go back and play Mario Party 1. My favorite was always Mario Party 2. I played that one more recently. But, okay, yeah, I don't really need to get the camera position perfect for this. Am I done with the grass shader? No, not yet. I don't know if I'll work anymore on it on stream, but yeah, I'm working on it for my video, just off stream when I do video stuff. It should be out in a couple of weeks probably. I'm just about to start on the script for it, I think. Anyway, okay, so let's make I guess just a character script. I'm trying to... Well, it's not too difficult. I'm trying to think, like, do I want to have different scripts for different character movements? You can get really complicated with this kind of thing. Oh, why did it not create it? Create C# script. So I guess this will just be character movement. I don't know. Character engine. And probably how I'll do it, because I am gonna need, well, they said that for your game we should be able to play it at least local multiplayer and try to do AI if you can. So I know I'm gonna want to have multiple input methods. One that you can use, yeah, like player controlled, and then one that's AI controlled. So we might have a different script that just gives this like engine class different signals. So this will take care of, like, I guess it will have like a velocity, or no, I guess it'll have like a movement direction and then it will just try to match that probably. All right, so yeah, I have a bad habit of over designing things that turn out to be kind of simple, so I'm going to try to avoid that with this game, because I'm kind of treating it sort of like a jam game. I'm not really giving myself like a actual, you know, time limit, but it does have to be done by the end of the month. So let's do, I'll call this character control. Maybe like something like character state would be better. And this will just be a mono behavior that will just hold like the input commands. And then other scripts can set these variables, and that way they don't have to specifically know about the character engine class. So we'll have stuff like, I don't know, float to facing, oh, something in my eye, like movement direction, or even, we could even just have a velocity, I guess. And then we want to have other things like I guess like a wanted velocity, which is, yeah, what you basically would put in the max speed here, and then the engine would try to bring the character to this velocity. And then, yeah, then we'll have to have stuff about jumping, but I think I'll leave that out, which I guess I should make the velocity of vector 3 for that reason. Okay, so this will have the character control. And then in start method, it will try to find that component. Okay, so we can just do, like I said, so something will give us a wanted velocity, and we'll just try to bring the actual velocity up to that. I'm just thinking about jumping, because usually jumping is handled differently. So I guess let's change this to, like, I don't know, input. It's not really velocity, it's kind of like move direction. Okay, and then I don't know. Sorry. I guess this will actually be like, yeah, like a velocity, because we'll just multiply the max speed in with it. Oh yeah. Yeah, we've got to worry about ray casting and stuff as well, but deal with that later. So we have the control. I guess we need to know about acceleration too. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm thinking of like all these different situations in my head. And like I said, I'm trying not to over design this. So let's just not even worry about jumping right now, and we can just add support for it. Okay, so anyway, so we set the velocity. We can use the move towards. Velocity, and then the target will be that wanted movement direction or input. And then the max delta will be the acceleration. Okay, it's complaining because of, yeah, acceleration is a float 2, which just gotta be needs to be a float 1. Okay, what's it not like about that? Cannot convert from float 2 to float. Oh, it does move towards, oh yeah, I think it's vector 2 move towards. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so that updates the velocity, and now we can update the position just by setting it here, and it would be, you just add the velocity to this. Of course, times the delta time, of course. Oh, right, this is in 2D, so we need to... I'll just change this to position 2D. Yeah, so we need to basically add in the Y component. Unfortunately, there's not a nice single line way to do that. We've got to just instantiate a new float 3 here. And yeah, no upward direction yet. What's it not like? Oh, okay. Yeah, I like to use the new float 3 types because they work just the same as in shaders, but sometimes it does get confused about what type you mean. Okay, so we have the character engine, and if I add in that character control class, nothing will happen right now because we have the velocities this is all set to 0, but then if I put that in and then give it an acceleration, yeah, it should start moving. But yeah, so it doesn't do any ray casting right now, so I think it'll just move through the wall. Yeah. But yeah, then we can increase the move velocity, and it does smoothly move towards it. But I'm not doing a good job demonstrating that because it's too slow. Oh. Yeah, this should be negative if I want it to move backwards. But anyway, yeah, it's way off the screen now. Okay, so let's add in input. What do I want to call this? I guess input control. I don't know. Technically that's good, but controller, it's too generic. That's fine. Get rid of all this. I need to, yeah, for some reason when I reinstalled Visual Studio recently, it didn't reinstall the Unity template, so I need to fix that. I keep spelling it wrong. Okay. So this class will also get that character control. Oh. No, we don't need to put brackets around it. And then in start, we'll get a handle on that. Okay, and now in update, we can set the wanted input to I don't know, W and WASD or whatever. Yeah, one reason I wanted to try to learn the new input control, also just besides just trying to keep up to date with stuff, is it is a little easier to reassign keybinds. So I know that they wanted to be able to play local multiplayer, so probably you'll need some way to set, I guess, 4 controls on the same keyboard, so I think that would be a nice thing to add. But for now, we'll just hard code in values. So anyway, do they? It doesn't really have. Oh, I was gonna say it doesn't really have the the fake control stick simulation that the old input system has. At least I don't think so. But I don't know. I don't really need to do that because the physics will kind of take care of that for me. Alright, so float x would be something like, I guess we'll start it at 0. And then if, I think it's keyboard. Oh, I forget what the new input system. I forget what the class is for the keyboard. I know for mouse it's just mouse, so it's uniengine.input system. Okay. So is that keyboard? Yeah. So I think you get okay, yeah, so they're all just fields in here. So yeah, so for left and right it's the A and D key. So, yeah, so if A key is pressed, we can do the same thing for all the other ones. So D key. And yeah, of course, like I said, we want to be able to change this so we can rebind keys later on. And I think that will involve not hard coding in these like this, obviously, but that will probably be like towards the end of the game. All right. So now I just thought of something I want to change. This should also be normalized so that if you put keys on diagonally, you don't move faster. All right, so I don't really like these controllers being able to define like a maximum speed because that leaves the door open for the input and the AI character controllers to kind of have different properties. Just thinking about that, probably some of the stuff like the movement acceleration is actually more like attributes that shouldn't even be in this character control class. Let's move that. Yeah, this is, yeah, these are more like actually, I don't even need the facing right now, but yeah, these are more, well, the velocity is a state variable, but then movement acceleration is more like a setting that should be set in the inspector, I think. And then I'll have max speed. Okay, yeah, this I think will be better. Okay, so we'll multiply this by the max speed. And I'll change this to just be input move. Okay. Yeah, and so then we can have other things like start a jump when we get to that. All right, so let's try this out. Oops. Okay. Let's give it, I don't know, something like that. So now when we play, okay, so sign attempt for player is not valid. Input position is not a number. That's funny. So it's not a number for some reason if I don't press anything. But I set it to 0. Yeah, so you can watch right here. Yeah, if nothing's pressing, it's turning into not a number, which basically means a division by 0. What's this whole thing? But when I press a key, it's not 0. But that's weird because I assign it to 0 right here. Okay, we're already going to get started in weird bugs. Seems a little early. Unity. Okay, then let's just not use a constructor to do it. Oh, okay. You know, it's because it's trying to normalize when d equals 0. Alright, so yeah, this wasn't a weird bug. This is a silly mistake on my part. So how can I I guess if d dot x not equals 0 or d dot y does not equal 0, then we'll normalize it. Normally, it's not a good idea to compare floating point numbers like this, but if it's not 0, then we don't really. Then we will normalize it. So I think this should be okay. Mostly just want to avoid those division by zeros. So okay, so now it's not complaining. And yeah, I can move, although it's really sluggish. So let's move the max speed, and I think probably the acceleration needs to go way up. Okay. Now it's very zippy, but still kind of has a little bit of smoothing when you take your fingers off the keys. So yeah, of course we can still go through colliders. I need to, yeah, ray casting is the next big thing to fix. Another thing is that our movement is in world, I guess world space and not view space. So when right now I'm pressing A and D, but I'm moving, you know, diagonal, like isometric instead of horizontally on the screen. So we'll probably want to fix that. So in that case, we need to get the main camera here. Okay, and so I just need to transform this. So if it's D, I don't need to do this, but otherwise I need to transform it into view space. Main camera. Okay, so they don't really have. Yeah, they have world to screen and world to viewport, but neither of those is world to like view space. And also these are all positions and not directions, although I don't know if that really matters in this point at this in this case. But we do have the camera to world and the world to camera matrix, so I think I can just multiply this by that. Okay, so D equals math multiply camera, so world to camera, and I'll need to add an, okay, actually, is this a, it's a 4x4 matrix. Okay, so the first, it will be d.x and then 0 because we're not moving in the y direction. And then the last coordinate should always be 1. And then we'll just take x, z. Okay, so I think this should work. Only one way to find out. Okay. Oh, right, I didn't assign the main camera to the input. Okay, so no. It's not working perfectly. I'm gonna, so we can get really responsive controls just for testing, I'm gonna move the acceleration way up. Okay, but now the max speed's too high. Okay, so right here I'm pressing S and W, and not only is it not going like depth-wise like I'd want, they also both move in the same direction, which is kind of funny. What about A and D? Okay, so everything just moves in the, we can kind of see here, so it's, everything just moves, well, it mostly moves in this negative Y direction, but technically they're not the same. Is this camera matrix? Maybe this doesn't do what I think it does. Okay, unity world to, oh, except I'm kind of doing it backwards because, yeah, the input is in camera space and we want to move it into world space. So I wonder, yeah, so it should be camera to world matrix. I don't know if that will actually fix it, but we can try. No, not really. Okay, yeah, so it's a view matrix, which is what I'm thinking of. Use this to calculate the camera space position of game objects. Well, you know, there's probably an easier way I can do this now that I think about it. So we have the camera's position, so I can just make, we can use the transforms forward and right vector for this of the main camera. So let's change this to transform. Okay, so forward. I think I might need to negate this, but we'll see. Okay, yeah, now they're both vector 3s, so we need to oh right, so the camera is angled, so the forward and right is actually going to angle us facing downward. But maybe, I don't think, I was gonna say maybe I can do this first and then normalize, but I think that will give us like skewed results. So I think what I have to do is I need to remove the Y component out of both of these angles. Yeah, and then normalize it, but maybe there's a better way. Yeah, probably I can just have like a camera. Well, I don't know. I probably could just hard code it because I don't really think the camera's ever gonna move. But I can add this camera anchor, which will just be out in space. And then the camera will be on top of it. Okay. Yeah, so I guess it wouldn't. Yeah, this will only rotate in the X direction, and then because what I want this forward and right to be in the direction that will move the input. So I guess if I just rotate this, I guess it should be 45, huh? But probably isn't exactly in the right spot. And then this I could just bring back down. Okay, so now this X rotation won't affect the input directions, and then yeah, as long as we use this camera anchor to rotate on the y-axis, the input will always match. I think this is the simplest way to do it. You probably could, I don't know, extract it from the camera's view matrix, but I don't think there's really a reason to. So I guess let's just call this input. I don't know, movement basis, I guess. Oh, right, and it's a vector 3, so I've got to convert it if I want to use the nice swizzle operators. Okay, so let's see if this works correctly. Oh, yeah, I need to set the component. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so you can see, I mean, now the character is really slow, but yeah, I'm pressing A and D, and yeah, we're moving left and right, and then W and S. Also, yeah, W moves backwards, which I think is what I want. Or W moves deeper into the screen. And then if we ever wanted to change this for whatever reason, it can rotate. And then, yeah, the input still matches. Okay, now that's kind of interesting. You can see when you move to the edge of the screen, the input doesn't match anymore. So I wonder, is bash and cache, is it in, it's a camera orthogonal? I think it is. Well, yeah, I think that it has to be, because otherwise with this kind of view, well, I guess, I don't know. You get like perspective warping. Looks isometric to you. Yeah, I kind of think it is. It's hard to tell because I think if you could see the whole room, you would be able to tell, because you could match up the sides and see they're all the same length. But yeah, I think it is isometric. So we can, and that'll kind of make things easier. Or orthographic, sorry, not isometric. Yeah, so now, yeah, when you move forward and backwards, it is a straight line because there's no perspective. I think it'll be better, I think, from a movement point of view. Yeah, it definitely is easier to deal with. Okay. Well, that came together pretty quickly. I could do jumping, but I think I better do ray casting because ray casting gets complicated real quick. And yeah, before we move too much on, we probably should hammer that out. Okay, so basically I'm not going to use any of Unity's physics engine, except maybe for, I don't know, some coin particles or something. And we're going to just pretty much only use it for collision detection. So looking, probably these characters should have like a cylinder collider. And then yeah, I'm trying to think if I need boxes for anything. Don't think so. I'm trying to, now when you hit them with a hammer, probably how that will work is just when, I don't know, it'd be nice if you could actually get the hammer itself was a collision object. So that way I wouldn't have to try to fake it. Which might be a little weird if you try to hit somebody in the air. So I was thinking that maybe I would just have like, I don't know, another cylinder collider that appears in front of you when you swing the hammer, but then you might not catch somebody that's in the air. But I think I think again I'm overcomplicating things, so yeah, collision detection is kind of a pain. So I am a little worried that running my own physics, it'll be difficult to do, like, I don't know, a box or a cylinder collider, but I don't know. Let me think. So if I just have capsule collider, I just want to look at what this brings. What's this? Oh, so you raycast to see if you hit the specific collider. Is there... what kind of raycast? Because like one thing I want to be able to do is like just kind of spawn a hitbox and see if anything is inside of it. And usually that's kind of difficult to do. At least it was. So there is a box and a CapsuleCast. Okay. Oh, here. So we check. All right. So this is what I wanted to see. All right. So this is good because now we can just, whenever if we need to spawn like a hitbox, we can just call this checkbox immediately to see if something is inside of it. instead of just like if we collide with it. All right, so I think we should be fine. Okay, and it even has these overlap, which is basically like hitbox, except it finds everything. All right, so I think with that stuff, I think I have a plan of how to handle it. It'd be nice if this collision detection stuff could be its own class. Do we want to? I mean, yeah, I guess it's got to be a game object or a component because the collider itself is a game object. I guess it doesn't have to be. I don't know. Let's just make a character collider class. And we'll assume that these are all capsules. So pretty much the only other thing we'll have as colliders will be the walls, the hammer, and the coin bags. And then, yeah, I like to kind of keep it open-ended because like I said, I kind of want to have like a, I don't know, an extras mode where I can be a little bit creative with this, but I haven't really decided what I would add. Probably maybe give like, I don't know, I was thinking we could MOBA-ize it and give each character a specific ability, which might be kind of fun. But I don't know. The reason I bring that up is because I'm trying to think if there's any other kind of collider I need to think about, but... Alright, so anyway, this will have capsule collider. And what I want to do is... Oh yeah. Okay. That green squiggly line is going to bother me. This is saying like Unity monobehaviors kind of already have a collider class or collider field. But I always just override it because I never use those. So to do that, you can put this new keyword there. But for some reason, when you go in Unity, it likes to give you warnings that tells you that you don't need that new keyword. Although it's not doing it right now. But anyway, that's always kind of annoying. Oh wait, no, it's not Unity that's doing it, it's the Visual Studio. Oh, I guess not. I don't know. There was something I was doing a while ago that kept on giving me a warning about it. And I'm like, but you told me I needed one a second ago. Alright, so we don't update anything here. Basically, I just want this class to be a wrapper around the capsule collider. And then we can call, I don't know, check collide. And then I'll give it a direction to do a raycast. Or a capsule cast in this case. Yeah, so now I've got to think about when things do collide, you gotta let the other object know somehow in case it wants to do something. I guess we could handle that in this capsule or character collider as well. Maybe... Okay, yeah, I think again I'm over engineering it, but I'm just trying to think of the best way. And there's also stuff like if two objects check for collisions, they'll see that they collide with each other, and then they'll both issue a collision event. So, okay, why don't we say that the object that's moving will issue collision events. Just to keep things clean. I also could use that Unity message system. But I don't know. That gets really hard to track. Okay, but anyway, let's just think of how this will work with walls, and then, yeah, the next thing, we'll have to check like if we collide with a character when we jump or whatever. Okay, so we can do physics, CapsuleCast. Okay, so what are these points? Alright, it doesn't really have... Oh, no, it does. Okay, so the center of a sphere at the start and the end of the capsule. And then the radius of the capsule, direction to sweep the capsule. Okay, so most of this is pretty simple, or pretty much just like a raycast. So how can I get these points from the capsule collider? Because this just gives us a height. Is the height, I wonder, is that from the center of each sphere, or is that from the tip to tip? Guess we can find out. Okay, so this is 1 unit high. So if I scale it, okay, yeah, you can see. And again, we have orthographic mode on, so there's no perspective. Although, yeah, I'm not looking at it straight on, but oops. Yeah, so anyway, yeah, it seems like the height is from the tip to the tip. So I guess the 0.1 and 0.2 that it asked for would actually be the height minus the radius. I could cache the value, but then what happens if the collider changes shape? So, yeah, there's no reason to over-optimize at this point, I don't think. Let's just do top point equals collider dot. Maybe we should do center first. Dot transform position, and then the top point is the center point plus we offset along the z coordinate. And for characters, yeah, they're always gonna stand up. So at least they will in this game anyway. So I'm not gonna worry about checking the collider's orientation. So this is the collider dot height minus the radius. And then the bottom point is the same thing except subtract. So yeah, we could optimize this a little bit, but it's okay for now. Alright, so if physics CapsuleCast top point, bottom point, collider radius, okay, and then the direction and length. Okay, so then a layer mask. We'll want to have this because we might not. Yeah, because we'll have to check the collision. Yeah, because when we collide with a money bag, it'll be different than if we collided with the wall. Because if we collide with the money bag, we'll be able to keep moving. So yeah, I should pass the layer mask. Okay. I guess I can just return true, otherwise it'll return false. And I'll worry about, yeah, we don't actually look at what we collide with, but we can deal with that later. Okay, so this character engine. I'm trying to think if there's any reason why I don't want to strongly couple with this character collider. Probably if you're going to make like a full game, you'd want to maybe think of something better, but the scope of this game is pretty small, so I think it's okay. Just to couple with this, because the only, like I said, the other colliders will be for the money bag, the hammer, and the wall, and none of those need a character engine, and all the characters are going to be capsule shaped, so this should be okay. All right, so we have the velocity, and then we have this position. So yeah, before we actually add the position, we need to ray cast to see if we'll hit anything, and if so, then we have to like clip the velocity to that point. Okay, so in that case, is this? Yeah, it just returns a boolean. What's the version that gives us? Okay, yeah, so hit info. Yeah, so I guess we do need to grab that. Should I? Okay, let's do. Yeah, for now, we just want this to return, like it's gonna, if it can't move this whole direction, it will clamp the movement. Do I want to, is that too specialized for this class, I wonder? I don't know. I guess we'll see. Okay, yeah, because we need, the main two raycasts we'll have to do is like a movement raycast, and then also the raycast to see if we run into, or if we pass through a money bag, basically. So in either, so yeah, we'll need to do this try move and then just a simple raycast. So, oh, but then there's other things. So like when you hit the wall, you kind of hit it and then and even though you can't move anymore in a certain direction, you can slide along it. So I think that's starting to get a bit too much actually for this class to deal with. So let's go back. Oh, sorry, I thought I turned off my phone. Anyway. What was this before? Raycast. Or check. Collide. So should I just return the hit info? I guess so. Okay, let's do it. That. Okay. Anyway, so F physics. Oh, also, I wonder. Yeah, see, right now we use like the actual position for this object. I wonder if I should let you be able to pass in a position. All right, great, Gowie. Thanks for coming by. I will. Yeah, you too. Yeah, I only have about 30 minutes, so you won't miss too much. I don't know. Again, yeah, this is a bad habit of mine. I need to... There's no reason to think about stuff in the future that I might not actually do. So, yeah, we can always change it to pass in. I mean, yeah, if you're... I'm just kind of thinking of this as like a prototype. So, if you're making like a, I don't know, a big game, you probably should design your code a little more instead of just jumping into it like I am. But one, that's not very fun to do on stream, and two, this game is pretty small, so even if I make a big mistake and have to go and refactor a bunch of stuff, the code base won't really be that big to make it take too long. All right, so collider, pass it the direction and the length, but velocity is already given to us by component, so do we... Okay, we actually do need it separately because the CapsuleCast needs them separately. That's kind of annoying. It's not a huge deal, but now I have to normalize the velocity, which is kind of slow. All right, so let's see. Float, move, length equals velocity. And then float 3, move direction equals velocity divided by the move length. Why is that not like that? Oh, velocity is a vector 2. That's fine. All right. So collider dot check collide. Give it the move direction, the move length. So the mass. I'll just okay, this actually. I think I'll put that in the collider itself. Field, so private layer mask. Just call it wall mask. And then out far hit info. Oh, yeah. Yeah, actually, you want to make this public. I think that's okay. Okay, so why is it not like that? Oh, now it does. So if it collides, so for now, I'm just gonna clip the move length, which I think hit info has like a fraction. What does it give me? So collider distance, the distance from the ray's origin to the impact point. Alright, I guess that's fine. So yeah, we can just set the move length to the hit info.distance, and that will effectively clip the movement. So we'll set velocity equals move direction times move length. Okay, now it's complaining again that this isn't a float 2. I'm trying. I don't really want this velocity to be a float 3 because the y velocity will kind of handle in a different way. Although maybe we shouldn't, because if you jump on somebody, you might get hit back in an arc. So in that case, we want this velocity to also work. There's a lot of times you want to handle jump velocity differently. So that's kind of why I'm hesitant. But alright, so now if I add a character collider, okay, it doesn't add the layer mask. I guess you can't have that read-only keyword. Okay, so I need to set up a layer. Let's do a couple of them. Okay, so we'll have, I don't know, wall, character, and I don't know, pickup. We can always add more later. If there's ever one thing about Unity that I wish that they would make a breaking change about, is I don't like these layer groups. I mean, I'm sure everybody, or pretty much everyone agrees with me, but like, it's really annoying how the physics layers, like, or the collision layers are tied to rendering layers. That always causes issues. I don't think it will in this game, thankfully, because we're not going to do a ton of fancy graphics stuff, but Unity has said they don't want to change it because it will break a lot of projects, but I don't know, at this point I kind of wish that they would just do it. Anyway, so the wall mask, and then we need to place all of these into that layer. And we can go ahead and change this onto the character. Okay. Got something wrong here. So it says the collider. Oh, right, because I don't get a reference to it here. Okay. Oh, we got another, not a number. Oh, right, because if, yeah, here, again, if the length is 0, then it's gonna complain. So if move length is greater than 0, then we'll do all this stuff. But yeah, if we're not moving, yeah, I guess we don't have to check for a collision. Okay, and I guess we don't have to do that either. Oops. Thought I deleted that brace. Okay. Alright, so no errors. Let's see. Okay, it does work, but it slows. It's kind of funny the way it's moving. I don't know if you guys can tell, but it's like slowing down when it gets close to the wall, which is sort of weird. Is this distance from the ray's origin to the impact point? Which seems like what I want. Oh, maybe. Oh, I know what it is. I need to multiply this delta time here because you got a delta time. Yeah. Right now I'm, yeah, I'm, what's the word? I'm using speed as distance when that doesn't work yet because I have to multiply by time first. So I gotta move that up there. Yeah. Oh yeah, and this should go inside. Okay, but this also means the velocity. Okay, this is kind of annoying. Because now the velocity is going to have the time, or yeah, the time multiplied back into it when it shouldn't at this point. I mean, I guess I could divide by delta time. That seems kind of messy. But I don't know. I think that's probably the best way to do it. Because I want to keep this velocity. Although I guess technically if we collide into the wall, the velocity should be set to 0. Yeah, maybe that's just the best way to do it. For now, anyway. Oh, okay, so now it just disappeared. Where'd it go to? Is that like 1,000? Okay, it's moving extremely fast. Oh. Okay. Direction times move length. Yeah, so again, I was moving by the velocity when I should be moving by this displacement. So I've just gotten my variables all mixed up. Okay. All right, so this, excuse me, this should work, I hope. Oh. Nope, still really fast. Oh, I see. Yeah, so yeah, this velocity, yeah, again, I messed up all the variables here. So float 3 move equals this. And this will be the velocity times time dot delta time. Okay. And now, yeah, I don't have this. And then the move length will just take the length of this move vector. Okay. And then what's I don't like about that? Oh, it's not really that ambiguous, but whatever. Okay, so at this point, yeah, we'll set the velocity to 0, I guess, and then we'll also set the move vector to the movement direction times this hit info distance. So I don't really need to do that. All right, I guess we can use the actual physics term and call this displacement. All right, let's see if I've detangled all that. All right, look, well, I thought it was good, but we're still colliding with walls. Oh. I like jumped. Funny. Okay. Okay, so something's wrong. Oh, here, I've done it again. I've got the velocity when this should also, it should be using the displacement. Okay, now it's working finally. Nope. Sometimes it stops, but sometimes it just goes right through. This kind of makes me a little worried because it makes me think that CapsuleCast isn't very reliable. But I could have some math wrong, so let's hope that's it. If CapsuleCast isn't reliable, then I'm gonna have to make my own CapsuleCast with raycast. Let's first look and see what other people think about Unity's CapsuleCast. This is like a tutorial about it. Center points of two spheres, blah blah blah. Okay, so I must just have some math wrong because I don't see people complaining it just doesn't work, which is good. Alright, so take a look through here and see if I have another mismatched variable. So we've got displacement, move length. It looks fine. Yeah, I don't have velocity anywhere else, so maybe gotten something wrong here. I wish that there was an easier way to visualize these raycasts, but I think I'm going to have to write my own. Debug. CapsuleCast. So we'll just take the top. I don't know. And oh, and yeah, the cast direction. Okay, so I'm gonna just draw a bunch of lines in the Unity editor to try to visualize these casts. And then we can see if I've got some of the math wrong or if they're just not colliding correctly. Now that I think about it, are these cubes? They are rect colliders, right? Yeah, they're box colliders. Not mesh colliders, so I mean capsules should be able to collide with them pretty easily. But I mean, I've been bitten by Unity's 3D physics before, so that's why I'm being a little cautious with them, but yeah, I've got to get it to work somehow. We don't really have another choice. Okay, so we can just grab that. I guess this could be a static class too. All right, so we got the top and the bottom. So I want to cast from the top and the bottom point of the capsule, and then also the points that are like, I don't know, orthogonal to the cast direction, and then from the center. Do my walls have no rigid bodies? Yeah, they're just no rigid bodies. So they should be static colliders. Do you think having rigid bodies would help? All right, let's see. I should probably make a whole another class to debug these raycast debugs. I guess I'll just go ahead and do that. Thought you still needed a rigid body marked as static, but it's been a long time since you messed with Unity's old physics system. Could be. Yeah, I'll try that too. But I know I'm gonna need this debug sometime in the project anyway, so I'm fine with working on it for a second. Yeah, you might be right. It's been a while since I've done it as well, to be honest. Oh. I didn't mean to. How annoying. I didn't mean to cut those lines. That's not a huge deal, I guess. Okay, anyway, so I want to grab this. All right. So yeah, the reason I did this is because I know I'm going to need to just debug raycast. So we'll have the point, cast direction, and cast length, and I guess I should have a color as well. So not, oh right, we don't have Unity engine. Oh, right, and you can't use that. That's okay. Okay, so we can just use the debug draw line class. Okay, and so now here I just need to draw a line for all the various different points. So so we've got the top point, and then we need to add back in the radius. Okay, I don't know. All right, and then the bottom point. Okay, and so that now also want points in the same direction as like the cast direction. So it'd be something like, oops. So the top point plus the radius times cast direction. And then same for the bottom point. And then I want a couple that are like orthogonal to the cast direction and the height vector. So 3. I don't really know if it'll make sense when I've when you see it. So to do that, we can just use math cross cast direction. And this won't work if you cast straight up because yeah, we'll be taking cross product of both of the same vector. But that's okay. This is just for debugging, so I'm not really super worried about it. Oh yeah. And then I should also normalize this. Okay, so the top point plus the radius times this orthogonal, and then the same thing except times negative, and then the same thing except for the bottom point. Okay. So that should give us a pretty good idea of what the capsule casts look like. So then here I'll just call raycast debug capsule. Okay. Oh, yeah, I called those different variables. All right, so let's just see what that looks like. And yeah, if we don't notice anything wrong, I'll try adding rigid bodies. Okay, I don't actually see our raycast, so that's not a good sign. Although sometimes... Okay, so here you can kind of see them. Oh. Okay, you can see a little red right there. I don't know if you all can on stream, but I can see it. Yeah, a little tiny. Okay, so that could be either... Huh. That's kind of interesting because... Yeah, it seems like we got some math wrong. Because... Well, we either got it wrong here or we got it wrong in the debugging. Oh, actually... Okay, well the center is set to 0. So yeah, I was gonna say there's like an offset in the collider, but... Alright, I'm gonna just make these a lot longer and then also make them last for a bit on the screen, so just so we can debug it. I guess this is the issue with debugging tools is we've got to make sure they actually work right. Okay, so now you can actually kind of see them a little bit more. Okay, so that's kind of a weird pattern. They don't seem to... I don't know why there's some facing other directions because the cast direction is the same for all of them. Okay, actually, Oh no, I was gonna say cast direction might not be normalized, but that's not true. Okay, let's do... Well, I don't think any of them are correct, because I was going to say let's just do one at a time and see what's wrong, but... Yeah, none of them are actually on the collider. So I think that if we... Yeah, I was going to say if we fix this debug thing, we might fix the actual raycast, but I'm not sure. It's difficult to tell where the bug is. Is it somewhere here? Is it somewhere in the debug methods, or is it somewhere on in the engine? I'm pretty sure it's not the engine because the character moves in the correct direction at most times. So that wouldn't be right. Um, Maybe let's just debug some of these values and see if they make sense. Or log some of these values. Yeah, the height and radius should just match what we're given. Or what is on the collider. Okay, so lots of values. Okay, yeah, but it's usually at 2.5, so yeah, the radius and the height never change. Okay, so at this point, okay, so the length keeps changing. But I mean, that kind of makes sense. It's the float, our floating point error. So that's kind of interesting. This direction is not... This might be one of our problems. This direction is not normalized because it's like... That's the square root of 2? Oh no, that's not square root of 2, but anyway. It's 0.707. Or negative 0.707. What is that very... That's a direction of the raycast. So that doesn't make any sense because... I bet that I cast something incorrectly. Oh, here. Yeah, I don't have to change it to a float 3 anymore because it's already a float 3. Yeah, so I was getting rid of the Z movement. I'm surprised that didn't... How did that not cause a problem? I guess because we recalculate it. Oh no, because... Okay, that would make sense because the displacement's fine here, but it only changes when we collide with something. So that would be the only time the value would get corrupted by that mistake. But we always move, or we always pass this move direction into the collider, which means that it always gets wrong values. Alright, so let's see what this looks like now. Okay, well, the debug isn't perfect still, but at least it looks a little bit better. Let's see. Okay, we still don't really collide with the walls, right? Although, there we go. I just got through again. Oh, yeah, I never, yeah, sorry, I never tried adding a rigid body. Let's do that real quick just to see, before, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to leave soon, but. Oh, there's no static. Yeah, so I think if I leave them how that is, they're gonna fall because of gravity. Oh no. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, so they are falling, but because of static, the meshes have been combined. So it doesn't look like they're falling. Yeah. So I don't think... I think if they're static, you just leave them without a rigid body. I guess I'll look that up real quick. So Unity static collider. Static colliders. You can add colliders to a game object without a rigid body component to create floors, walls, and other motionless elements. Okay. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I think we were getting it confused with kinematic, but kind of it is confusing. So, but unfortunately, either way, that doesn't seem to be the solution. But yeah, there's still something wrong with our debugging, although that could just be a math on my side. Basically, it just looks like the height is too much. Oh, you know what? I probably need to half the height. Which maybe that's the issue for the collider as well. Because I'm taking the whole height even though we're starting at the center point. Which I think just to fix this, I'll go ahead and add the offset. Is that right? Okay, center. So it's the half the height. And then I'll do the same thing here. Okay, so this should help, although I don't think it will fix the issue, unfortunately. It'll just make the raycast match up. Yeah, so it does match up, and even though it looks like it's lagging behind, it's actually pointing forward. It's just because I gave them a little bit time to show on screen. But yeah, unfortunately, it is allowing me to go through the wall. I wonder, like, even if I move straight at the wall, it still lets me go through it, except that time it didn't. It's just not very consistent. Oh, I don't know. I'm gonna have to... This is what I was afraid of. Unity's collision detection is usually not the most consistent, but maybe using the wall layer and your mask for the cast? I think so. Because I'm just using... Let me look. Yeah, I put it there. And for sure, these are all in the wall layer. But I don't know. We'll get it to work. I'm going to get rid of this. Debug. The doc says a layer mask that is used to selectively ignore colliders when casting a capsule. Yeah, I think I've got that set up. If it works the same as other raycasts, which I have used. I'm just using the mask passed in, which is set up in this public field. And then here in the player, I set it to contain the wall layer. And then I made sure all these are set to be walls. So I think that's okay. And sometimes it does collide. It just doesn't always collide. Which, yeah, there's probably just some trick to it. Oh yeah, I want to get rid of these extra length there. Like when you're working with in 2D, a lot of times you have to break up the raycast into like horizontal and vertical components. So I wonder if it's something like that where it doesn't like you to cast diagonally. Yeah, see right there I collided, but then I just barely moved upwards and it didn't collide, so you can't really see the debug either anymore because it's too small. And maybe that is also a problem, is the collider is too small. Or the cast length is too small, so it's just not catching the wall sometimes. Oh yeah, there it got it. Although if I make the, well, I guess I was gonna say if I make it longer, then we'll end up like colliding before we hit the end or hit the wall. So well, I guess I'll just test that. We'll multiply this by 10. CapsuleCast will not detect colliders for which the capsule overlaps the collider. Yeah, that could happen, although how would it would have to start overlapping, which would mean that it failed in the first place to get that close. Yeah, even if I increase the length of the collider, it doesn't always catch it. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna need to do a little research, try to figure this out, because I've kind of other projects, like I've done platformers before, usually in 2D, but we kind of had the same issue, and that just Unity's physics aren't really very reliable for this type of thing. So I'm not really sure. Well, I think what I'll try to do is, instead of using CapsuleCast, I'll basically just recreate it with my own series of raycasts, like I'm pretty much like I did with this debug. So instead of just doing a single CapsuleCast, I'll have to do 8 or however many raycasts like this, which is probably more expensive, but we're only going to have at most 4 characters, so it'll probably be okay. I don't know, because yeah, this CapsuleCast isn't going to do the trick. I really hope. The other thing I could try and do is do that capsule overlap function and see if that works better than casting it. I kind of hope so, because I'd like to be able to use that to do hitboxes, but we'll see. Yeah, it is weird. But anyway, I'm kind of sorry to leave on this note, but we did get some good work done. We've got movement, and which I'm happy it works well with the camera. So next time, tomorrow actually, we'll iron out this physics a little more, maybe get to jumping, and then y'all need to add a little AI character so we can try to get the hammer to work. And yeah, so we'll keep on just working with the character controller until we've got that working perfectly, and then we'll move on to maybe some art, UI and stuff like that. But anyway, yeah, thanks everybody for coming by. Sorry for the late start and also being on a weird day, but yeah, just stuff happens sometimes. But I'll put some links in the chat if you enjoyed the stream, and I have a YouTube channel where I upload game development tutorials, and also my Discord where you can just come chat, ask game development questions. And yeah, I guess that's about it. So yeah, I'll see you tomorrow at 9 Eastern. Have a great day. Bye-bye.